So thanks everyone for coming over tonight. Really appreciate your time that you are giving us, and I'm pretty sure Jaco and Lovee, once you hear their talks and the workshops that they're going to run, you'll feel the time that you invest here is going to be worthwhile. So a bit about us. We are KSUG.AI group. We used to be known as KSUG.AI, so Kubernetes user group. Slowly moving towards more Kubernetes and AI group. I'm from Sydney, so this is my first time, so I've come here just for this event. I'm from Sydney team. I'm the organizer, and there is another co-organizer on my right here, Felix. So we do run these events every month in Sydney. So we'll be clicking a lot of photos. Feel free to click a lot of photos yourself. So this is the QR code. So there is a common folder. Feel free to click the photos, upload the photos, download the photos if you feel that someone else has clicked your photos, but please don't delete anything. So we'll do a quick rundown of who KSUG.AI is, the community. Then we have Jaco, who is data analytics specialist at Google. He's going to talk about Google Cloud ADK to build multi-agent systems running on GKE. Then we have Lovee here. She's going to run a workshop how you can build your own tech news app using Gemini. She has done it, I think, in 4 or 5 different cities now. And after a huge demand, it has been very, very well received. So we thought we'll run another one here. She's local, so why to miss out on the stuff? Our mission, so we want to help out the community. So everyone who's part of our community, so we got a lot of Kubernetes certified, Google certified, AWS certified people in community. As a certified person, you get discounted vouchers. And there are many times when you don't want to use or you don't have time to use those discounted vouchers. So volunteers in our community, they happily share their discounted vouchers with others in the community. So that's one of the things as part of this community. We have a WhatsApp group as well. If you're planning on appearing for an exam, and if you need some discounted vouchers, so there might be people who are voluntarily willing to give their discounted coupon codes to you. Just a quick introduction of the organizing team. So Engg, he was here. He's gonna come over here again. I'm the founder of Prezzee. We are a Google Cloud partner. Then I've got Felix. He's probably here. Then he's not with us right. And now guys also these guys are from Sydney. YouTube.
Just muting the devices.
Yep. Should be fine. So our sponsors provide, so Google, Hackett. So these are some really interesting books from Googlers. They have been given by Hackett and Cloud. We'll choose top 10 winners. Will run quiz at the end of the session. That will show that how well you are listening to the talk and the workshop. And the top 10 winners of the quiz, they will get their hands on either the books or will have free voucher. There's a Gemini model too. I think I'll confirm with Engg. There are free Cloud vouchers as well. And massive thanks to PwC for hosting the event. I don't have any from PwC. Yeah, but thanks to them too. From a global footprint perspective, we have present almost like Singapore, where we started in Australia, like Melbourne, Sydney. We run our meetup in UK, Philippines, and India too. Now, without further ado, I want to tell you guys from listening to the interesting talk by Jaco, I'll hand it over to Jaco, who's going to talk about building using ADK to build multi-agent systems on Google Kubernetes. Please welcome Jaco.
That's a big online people. I know there's online people, and online people here is okay.
Yeah,
maybe just in the back. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll share my screen. All right, so guys, massive thanks for coming tonight. Really appreciate it. Melbourne is like freaking cold. It came out of nowhere, but that's what we get in Melbourne. So I'm sure we'll love bits of it too. So my name is Jaco. It's pronounced with a Y. I'm not very precious. My coffee name is Jake. And I'm sure everyone here with a foreign name has a coffee name that they use to avoid this whole conversation. My background is in data engineering. So I'm a data engineer at heart. I spent a large part of my life in consulting, so rolling out large data platforms for enterprises. And I remember I did a lot of work at a bank, and I decided I don't think I want to do this anymore. Not because there's anything particularly wrong with banks, but there was just a time in my life where I thought I had enough of this. So I had the opportunity to start working at Google, and so that's what I do today. I work at Google as a data analytics and AI specialist. I get to work with tech startups, which is awesome. That's my passion. I love it. It's fast, it's crazy, but I also get to work with large enterprises. And it's an entire different set of challenges that large enterprises have, as many of you guys probably would know. So I believe that every business, actually, before I get there, one of the key things that I'm trying to do, that I'm actively working on these days, is I'm trying to help teams, both in the tech startup space, but also in the large enterprise space, really discern between what is real and what is network in the AI space. And so I think everyone here has kind of run into this thing where you're not quite sure, how real is this AI thing really? And there's a lot of that going around. There's a lot of people walking around saying these things are going to do everything. But then when you actually ask it 5 questions, it's horribly failed and actually So there's some snake oil out there, but there's some genuine true value in the middle. And I'd love to share you guys some of the things that I think are genuine true value. So ultimately, I believe that every business, regardless of what they do, is going to become a data business. That's why I do what I do. I genuinely believe that in the future, if you don't have a good grip on your data as a business, you won't be able to make smart decisions. You won't be able to leverage AI, and you're going to be outcompeted by your competition. And so get a hold of your data and use it wisely. That's a bit about me. So before we jump into the actual Prezzee, what I would like to do, if you guys have 3 minutes, is if you can, and if you're comfortable, please scan this QR code. And this will be really quick. And then this is just a quick survey app. So I'm a data guy. I'm not going to let this opportunity pass without having you guys send me some data. There's no personal data or anything weird. It's just a survey. So hit the thumbs up if you can. There should be a little thumbs up, and we should see. Okay, so everyone kind of in Mentimeter? Yeah, thumbs up. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is jump to the first question. And the question is, how will modern AI affect your work-life balance, positively, negatively, or neutrally? And so there's an option that you can drag, and you'll see as people vote, this thing will pop up. So some people reckon, it will remain neutral, negative, debugging code generated by AI. All right, I'll give that another couple of seconds. Cool. There's still some coming in. All right, so I think as it stands, people are pretty positive about all of this. AI is going to give us more time and hobbies. All right, there's still a couple more coming in. All right, cool. I think that's about it. I'm going to jump to the next one. Well, no, stop it, guys. Unless it's an AI that's infiltrated this and they're trying to bias this. So, all right, I'll get to the next one. How is modern AI likely to affect the global economy? positively, negatively, or neutrally? Like, will we have helicopter money raining in the skies? Or will we lose somewhere against some elsewhere, like the Industrial Revolution? Yeah, some people think nothing's really going to change. All right, so neutral. No, neutral is winning. Nice. All right, cool. So we think we're going to all have more hobbies, but nothing's going to change in the economy. Interesting. All right, I'll get to the next one. All right, AI in your day-to-day. So this is like, there's a few questions, but you basically rank them on a scale of 0 to 10. So how much of your job is secretly or not so secretly being done by Jain AI today? And you should be able to like drag the slider. That working okay? Yeah. All right. People are voting. And just if you're done, just give me like a bit of a thumbs up so I can see where we are in the room. So on average, people are like using AI. Quality is okay, acceptable, makes sense for parks. All right. Come back to this at the end. I think we're about done. Everyone here done? Yeah, cool. And then last one, I promise, in 10 years, the most important role will be. So the analog rollback specialist, so that's the person who knows where the physical off switch is for AI. The AI psychologist who helps AI deal with humans. Prompt archaeologists, so that's the people who's going to decipher the code that our AI is generating now. Yeah. Prompt archaeologist is leading. Thumbs up. All right, so the legacy human system integrators learning. I kind of tend to agree with that. All right, cool. I think we're done. So legacy human systems integrators at the top, human authenticity auditor, so making sure stuff is real. I actually think that's a really big deal. And then it goes down from there. This survey was tongue in cheek. I'll share the results with you guys. What I would like you guys to do is connect with me on LinkedIn if you're interested. I share content about data. Is the mic working now? We can hear you. Yeah. Okay. Can I go micless? Are you guys okay? I'll project my voice. Is that okay? Is everyone in the back okay with me? This is. Yeah. Okay. You intimidated it into submission. All right. Cool. Thanks for that, by the way. So I'll share the Mentimeter results then. But what I want to do is I want to talk just a little bit about ADK. So who here has heard about ADK, the Agent Development Kit from Google? Hands. Oh, a lot of people. Nice. Okay. Well, I asked Gemini to give me just a quick summary and a hot tip. Like if you don't use it, tell Gemini to explain things like a 5 in 5 sentences. It works a treat. And basically what he's saying is, imagine you want to build a super smart robot helper. Google's ADK is like a special class for robots that just for making these robots. This kit gives you ready-made pieces, so you don't have to build everything from the very beginning. Using these blocks, you can make a couple of smart things like answer questions on that. This makes it much faster to create a very own helpful AI system. So it's a Lego box. It's all of the pieces that you need to build agents. The official definition is ADK is a flexible and modular framework for developing and deploying AI agents. ADK can be used with popular LLMs, so not just Gemini. You can wire in any LLM to that thing. and open source GenAI tools. It's designed with a focus on tight integration with the Google ecosystem and Gemini models. Two other things that are pretty good is ADK is open source, which is pretty nice. And one of our other frameworks, A2A, which is an agent-to-agent protocol. So if you've built a whole bunch of agents using ADK, and someone else built a whole bunch of agents using whatever the heck they wanted to, A2A is this protocol that helps these agents effectively communicate with each other. And we actually recently gave that away to the Linux Foundation. I think we did it like yesterday, this morning, yesterday. I did it this morning. Yeah. So we're giving us our stuff away again. Okay, so say agent one more time. I'm sure everyone here has heard like a lot about agents, and so there's this thing in the industry around agent fatigue, and people are like close to jumping off buildings and stuff. It's pretty bad. I'm sorry. Someone asked me to talk about agents. Otherwise, I would probably have considered talking about something else that people don't have to think about. But what I'll do is instead of talking through my slides, what I thought I'd do is I'd actually show you guys just a very quick example of an agent that I built using ADK. Has anyone here played around with ADK and actually built anything? No? One, two. Okay, cool. So this is super basic. This is an incredibly rudimentary agent. And let me just, it is not up and running. Let me just get it up and running. Right, and now I pray to the demo guys to because everyone who has ever demoed Gen AI will know what happens when we try that. Things can go wrong. So this is an agent that it's a multi-agent system that I built today. I'll show you guys the guts of this in a second. But this is ADK. This is like the web experience in ADK. So ADK is this toolbox that has all of the tools. One of the tools that it has is effectively this web experience that allows you to try out your agent and see how it actually responds. I've built an agent, and I'll show you guys this agent and how it works. It's a multi-agent system. There's 3 agents, they collaborate together. But this agent, this system of agents is effectively agents that help you with your health. So every winter, when I stop running because it's way too cold outside, I get to this point where I'm like, oh man, I should totally get back into running. I feel really bad, and then I do like a lot of research about running, and then I feel better because I've done the research, but I haven't actually done the run. And so I thought, you know what, I'll procrastinate some more and I'll build some agents around running. And so this is just a very silly example to show you guys how it works. But basically, it's an agent that can give you some health advice. And so hi, and actually, just create a new session. Hi. This thing is wired up to my hotspot. Okay, cool. Hello, I'm so glad you're here. My name is, okay, there's a bug which I should fix, but please forgive me. And I'm your lead health professional. I work with a team of specialists, including a workout and diet experts, blah, blah, blah. I'll zoom in a little bit because I can see there's a bunch of people squinting at me. Cool, and so it's asking questions. What are your primary health goals? Can you describe your current diet? And tell me about your typical daily activity, blah, blah, blah. What I've done is I just have a prompt, and I'll paste the prompt so you guys can see it. I'm 33 years old, and I want to live forever. I want to be pretty strong. I want to run 5K. I train 4 days a week, blah, blah, blah. This is all fictional information, by the way. None of this is true. Or is it? Most of it's not true. So the agent is like, cool, thank you for providing that information. Here's a summary. So it gives me a summary back. And then it says, yeah, is this complete? And I can say, yes, this looks great. And I'm typing 100 there. So, cool. And so now what happens is it says, okay, cool. Would you like to focus on your workout plan or your diet plan first? And I'm going to say, let's do gym. And I imagine it's going to be smart enough to understand when I say gym, it needs to work with my workout agent. And so what happens if I click on this little thing is we can see I have a base agent. the base agent is the agent that collected all of the information. And what this thing is now doing is it's figured out that I am interested, I have an intention to get a workout plan. It cannot generate a workout plan itself. I told it it's not allowed to, but it can work with another agent, and this other agent can actually generate a workout plan. And so the base agent calls the workout agent, and it says, okay, here's this person's health profile. Go ahead and create a workout plan. And so now what happens is the workout agent says, okay, cool. Let's keep you feeling strong and energized and ready to crush these long life goals. Very enthusiastic workout agent. And it gives me this 4-day plan. And what's interesting about this is it doesn't give the 4-day plan to me. It gives the 4-day plan back to the base agent. And so what I do want to point out is this is the result of what the workout agent said back to the base agent. And then the base agent, who is much more professional than the Jumbo workout agent, said, okay, I've received the workout plan from a specialist. Here it is presented in professional format. And it structures this thing and put it in like a table. Blah, 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 blah. Gives me some essential tips. Cool. And so now it says, cool, now that your workout plan is set, would you like me to bring in a diet consultant? And I'm going to say, yeah, let's do that. And now what happens is this thing says, cool, perfect. Now I'm bringing in another diet specialist to design a meal plan. And so we can see the same thing happens. It takes my profile that it pulls up, sends it to the diet agent. The diet agent takes that and it's like, I'll show you guys something funny. I did this just as a joke, but I said the diet agent should impersonate a grandma. And I'll tell you guys why I did that, but it's like, so the response from the diet agent is, okay, sweetie, let's get you on the path to feeling energetic and strong. And that's very, very heartwarming. But so then when it gets back to the base agent's very professional, and so they take the grandma stuff and they turn it into stuff that you can present. The point being is that in these multi-agent systems, it's very similar to having people interact, and you can give them different personas and you can give them different voices and they can do things differently. And it's up to you as the developer, the engineer, to actually figure out how are you going to explicitly get these things to do what it is that you need to do. And so what's also interesting about this is it took me like an hour or so to put this together. And honestly, 70% plus of my time was spent on prompt engineering, nothing else. And I think that's one of the most valuable things about ADK is that it does so much for you out of the box that that you get to spend time on the prompt engineering. And that's, in my opinion, that's like the fun bit. That's the creative, exciting bit. I genuinely enjoy that. Cool. So, and one other thing that I do want to share you guys really quickly, I'm just going to rerun this. So as you guys can imagine, when we're working with agents and large language models, none of this is deterministic. So this looks slightly different from the previous time. I'm going to give it the same response. Cool, so I give it the same response. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, instead of give me my my gym, I'm going to say give me diet. And what's cool about this is I played around, and you can say, instead of diet, you can say meal plan, or you can say food, or anything like that. And the agent is smart enough to understand, oh, I should route you to the diet agent because it's a large language model. So there's no decision, there's no explicit decision logic or anything you have to build into this ecosystem. The agent is just super smart enough to understand. So and so now we have our grandma agent again. She's less grandma-y this time, but she does say darling, which is endearing. And so she, that gets sent back, and again, this is put into like a more professional view. Cool. So what does all of this look like under the covers? So let me stop sharing my screen, and then I have to reshare it. Um, 5 minutes. Okay, cool. So let me zoom in a little bit. All right. So this is simplified this. So this is going to look pretty awful to anyone who's a software engineer, but this is just for simplicity. So what you'll see is I import ADK agents. I imported a Google search tool. So when the diet agent goes and figures out the diet, that diet agent actually goes and searches for recipes and stuff to make sure that the things are reasonable and legit. And then I imported tools. So I kept this incredibly basic, but what you can do is you can give your agent tools. And so, for example, you can give your agent the ability to read from a database. You can give your agent the ability to interact with an API. We have customers that have given their agents the ability to access like ServiceNow ticket APIs. And it's a different way of engaging with those things. Not always the right way, by the way, might I add. We have a lot of people that try to build these agents for everything. And then when you take a step back, you're like, is this really the best interface to solve this problem? And sometimes chat isn't the best interface to solve all problems, right? So people have really jumped on this, and I think some people are walking around with a hammer just looking for the right nail. So look, the way that this works is I have a steering prompt. What I do is I create a persona. You're the lead health professional, blah, blah, blah. I give it some context, and then I give it some pretty explicit tasks. So initial consultation, greet them, ask 5 questions about their health, build up this health profile, confirm their choice. And then I have, if the user chooses a workout plan, send them to the workout agent, otherwise send them to the diet agent. And then I give them some pretty explicit things. The workout agent, again, you effectively get the profile, you acknowledge the goal, and you create a 4-day workout plan. I say 4-day, but if you want it to be fancy, you could have the workout agent ask, hey, how many days? And it'll do that. So, at the start, I'm like, yeah, do you have any dietary requirements? And I ran out of time. But you can pretty much do all of those things and build out a very rich profile. And that's effectively, once you have your prompts, what you do is you define a root agent. You give it a model. So I'm using Gemini Flash 2 because this is a very basic example. But you can use anything. You can use Claude, you can use Gemini Pro, you can use pretty much any LLM. And then what you do is you give it the instructions, which is the prompt I have up. And what I've done here is I've said the root agent has access to 2 other agents, the workout agent and the data agent. And this is effectively how everything is strung together. So what I'll do is stop there. I actually have a lot more content, but I'm out of time, and Arnie didn't stop speaking about the swag. So Arnie, I'll pass. Do I pass back to you or pass to?
Yeah,
I'll pass back to you. Okay, cool. So everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to me. I appreciate it. Thanks for having thanks people who see for that.
Pleasure, Jaco. That was really, really interesting. Hope everyone actually got something out of the talks here. This is really cool, right? How you can build some really cool agents using ADKs. And now we did go through some of the theory, the technical part, right? So we'll see it in action very shortly. So do you have the QR code or do you? So what are we going to do before the workshop? Because it is going to be a hands-on workshop. So Lovee will share a QR code here on the screen. So if you just scan that, that will give you $5 credit on Google Cloud Platform. I know it's not much, but it is more than enough for this particular workshop. So she's going to run a workshop, which is deploying the tech news using Gemini, and it's going to be deployed on Cloud Run. And that's the beauty. So not just the cloud credits, but we want to show you that running the workload on Google Cloud doesn't cost you that much. So you can run the whole news app, and it is going to probably not even cost you $1 out of the $5 credit. And I think that credit would be valid for about a week or so. So you can go back home. You'll have access to the code as well, and the credit, so you can play around and do your own stuff. With that, I'll hand it over to Lovee.
Thank you.
I tried it. I have a question. Yes. You probably might have to be a bit loud. Try it out.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Is it loud enough?
I have a question for you.
Okay. Sorry. Yes. Jaco, he has a question for you.
So, ADK, I see it's there in Python and Java.
Yeah.
Is there any plan for .NET?
Man, .NET, yeah, .NET is hard. Because Microsoft owns it, right? So there's always challenges. It's rare that Google invests heavily in .NET. It's typically Python, Java, and then we'll go into Golang, things like that. So I haven't seen plans. It's probably not off the table. I can take a deeper look, but I'm erring on the side of I doubt it at this stage, but I can certainly look.
But it's open source now.
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe you can have a look.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Sorry. Can you run
Yeah. So actually, something I didn't speak about is deploying agents. So ADK has like a deployment facility, and it's really good, and it allows you to deploy to GKE. So you can package it up as a container deploy to GKE. You can deploy it on Cloud for those who know what Cloud is. And then there's actually a third deployment option, which is Vertex.AI agent engine. And that's like a fully managed ops thing. So those three levels are kind of like, it depends on how much control you want. But scalability wise, that will scale super well. It's all about how much control you want and how much value you want.
And last question. I'll do a question. I'll do it. When you have players, you need to have a collaboration.
Yeah, there's a few strategies. I didn't get to that piece in my deck, but you know what? Let's chat about that.
I agree with one more question.
One last.
And just a related question, why do you have multiple agents in your scenario? Could you have one agent that does everything?
In this specific example, we could like you could have had one agent that probably do a lot of it. It comes down to separation of the which of course you guys will be very familiar with, but the same rule applies when you're building agent systems. This is a very basic example, but imagine you have an agent that can read from database or write to a database. And imagine you have an agent that can hit an API. Having one agent that can do all of these things, it just at some point after consulting becomes very hard to do. And then of course reusability, right? Like you have, if you think about like microservices, like you want all of these things to be actually usable as possible. And so you might have an agent that sits on top of ServiceNow, and that thing is exposed to a whole bunch of other agents. All of this. Cool. And
There we go. Cool. Hello everyone, I'm Lovee Jain. So thank you again for coming tonight. It's very cold, really. So really appreciate you coming in today. So for those who do not know me, I'm a senior software engineer at Prezzee, GDG organizer. There's going to be an event tomorrow. Attend that. There's going to be lots of talks there. And I'm also a Google developer expert in Google Cloud and AWS community builder. But yeah, so let's get started. So we first need to get you your credits. So laptops out. We can't do this workshop on the phone.
So if you have already, can you? So if you've already scanned the QR code, let's go to next steps. You need to sign in with your personal Gmail account. Work accounts won't work. This is proper hands-on session, so I highly encourage laptops out. Don't think it would be possible on the phone. We'll be diving into like Cloud Console and things. We'll be like literally writing code today. So yes, so if you have already scanned this, you might go on to this kind of a URL where it asks you to sign in with your Google account. Don't use your workplace account, just use your personal account, and it should be Gmail. So once you've chosen an account, continue. click here to access your credits, and then fill out some information, accept and continue, and it should be done. Now, if you want to check if you've got the credits yet or not, you need to go to your Cloud Console, so which is your console.cloud.google.com. Like it would have automatically once you have signed in.
So just to clarify, ideally, you should just have a Google account, right? And these things should work. But I don't know for credit, it has to be a Gmail account. If you have any other account as Google account, it won't work.
Yeah.
So something like Outlook or anything, it won't work. So it has to be a Gmail account.
Yes. Then if you want to check if your credits have come through or not, you need to search for billing. Go to billing. There would be a billing account there. And then you might be able to see this. But rest assured, it should work. There's very less people who cannot get it working, but not sure if it works on using phone. Sorry?
$0. It's $0. Everything is a system, it's just Chrome, right?
You check.
I just scanned that. Yeah. Then logged in.
And you need, so when you're there, on the top, you need to select a project. So here, select a project.
Okay, 0 in laptop.
Yeah, 0 in laptop as well.
Okay, hang on. Then there's something wrong with credits?
Yeah.
Can you try the...
Maybe the coupon code has expired.
No.
It's well.
Um,
Can you try the...
Should I try myself?
Yeah, because I tried myself and it gave me $5 credit.
Yeah, it usually. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. Have you?
Okay. Are you using the Gmail account?
Okay. Can you?
Yes. So there are few who have. Oh, yeah. So you
Okay, hang on. You haven't checked all the steps. Wait. Go to billing and billing, and somewhere down you should see credits. That's where you should be able to see credits. Here, like this. It should come up like this. You got it? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think it's all.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have two options to choose from. Is that normal?
What do you
What? All got.
So this is the billing account. You need to check it.
And then you need to select a project. If you do not have a project, then you can just create one. It would give you the prompt. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yes. Do you have that? Or,
Anyone else need the QR?
I'll try my best.
yes.
Okay, I will move to the next steps. Once you've got your credits and created a project, here's the workshop. This is the workshop that we would be doing today. So again, another QR code to scan. Now, while you're scanning and opening the code lab, I'll quickly go and grab some water. Okay, so does anybody know what is that TLDR thing that we are doing? Anyone has subscribed to the TLDR newsletters ever? Yeah, they just give you the summary of tech news in different categories. And that's what we are going to create today. It won't be that colorful, but it works. OK, so this is the code lab, and I will zoom in. Is it better at the back? Everybody can see? OK, cool. So what we are going to do is we are going to use Gemini API, and we are going to use, so Jaco actually showed how we can add Google search. He was using Google search with the ADK. So we are going to use the Google search as a tool with the Gemini API to get the latest tech news. And then once we have that summary, we are going to create an API out of it. And we are going to deploy that on Cloud Run. Once we have our API ready, we are going to use Google's low-code, no-code tool called application integration to create a workflow that sends you emails every day or whenever you like. And for creating our API, what we are going to use is GenAI SDK. Now, before I start, I have to mention that this is an evolving space. When I created this workshop, I think I created it around March. It's been a while. And when I created it, I used Gemini 1.5 model with Gemini SDK. It's a different package. But then that package was deprecated. So I updated the content to use the latest one, which is your GenAI SDK. And that's what we would be using. We'd be creating it in Node.js. So we're not going to go too technical. But before we do that, let's actually play around with the AI Studio. So I have a question. How many of you here have played around with AI Studio? Oh, you are in for a treat today. All right. So if you have not, you should definitely check it out. AI Studio is like a sandbox that gives you so many options to do, so many things to play around with. So if you have not already tried that, I haven't got the QR code, but you can always search for AI Studio at Google, and it will actually take you to this first link, which is your AI Studio. Now, question, is everybody able to see everything at the back, or shall I zoom in? All good? OK. So with AI Studio, it gives you so many options. So first things first, let's start from the right. You can choose what all different models you want to use. So I am using 2.5 Flash Preview that was released in April. Then you can set temperature. Higher the temperature, more creative are the responses. Next is thinking mode. Now, thinking mode is something where you can actually dive into how your LLM is actually understanding and progressing with what you are giving it, right? How it is able to process it. The next thing is you can define these tools. Now, one of them is structured output. If you want your output to be a JSON file or something like that, you will just turn that on. Or if you want to execute some code, just turn on code execution. Then there is function calling. If you want to call a function or an API, or get your information from a database, that's where you would call a function, and you will get the information from that external source back to your app, and then the LLM can actually respond back after reading that response. And today, the star of the night is this grounding with Google search that we are going to use so that it gets the latest tech news, right? And then my favorite, URL context. You also have some safety settings and things, but actually, let's start with some prompting. So who is the president of US? What? What? So it's the latest model, and yet it is not using Google search. The models, they have been trained on older data. For them to be able to use latest information, they need to have grounding with Google search on. Now, best part about AI Studio, you can literally play around with stuff by using a compare mode. So I go into a compare mode, And in my right, what I'm going to do is I am going to change and turn on grounding with Google search. And that's when I am going to ask it the same question. Let's see. Oh, I clicked, hang on. Actually, let me copy this first. I don't want to type it again. Okay, this way. There's this little icon. I'll explain all these icons. So we go compare mode again, and oh yay, it has got it. And now we going to check. Oh, no, wait, it did not have the grounding on. I'm going to turn on the grounding now, okay? And let's see the response again. Now this one is thinking because it's also using Google search. Ta-da! It's got the right answer. And it actually tells you where it got the answer from. It actually tells you all the sources it knows or have arrived to that response. So obviously, if we are creating a news app, we need latest content. And that's how we are going to get our latest content. I'll just close this for now. And I'll actually explain a couple more things. Yes.
So how does it know for which ones it has to do Google search and for which question it should not do the Google search? How does it know?
I think it uses Google search for almost everything if you have it on. But if you talk about function calling, I can explain you that part. So function calling, for example, if you have attached like a movie database and if you ask it what movies, and you've got it in the prompt as well, you need prompts, good prompts. Jaco had a very good prompts there. So then it would be able to fetch the information directly from your function. It knows how to call that function. But how it actually works like properly in the background, no idea. I have no idea. Yes.
What is the purpose of having that version if it's not up to date?
Well, you can still do a lot of stuff. I'll give you an example. Okay, so let's continue. So there is something called as system instructions, which you can use to provide more context. For example, I always wanted to reply to me in a very cheerful tone. I can tell it, okay, always reply to me in a cheerful tone. That's where your system instructions come into play. Now, the best part, you can get all the code right here, straight away. Now, if anybody here has been following what's going on at I/O, Google I/O event, or what was the latest update, anybody know what was recently announced? Would anybody like to share?
Real-time voice translation.
Yeah.
Google glasses that can give you a heads up.
Anything related to AI Studio?
Oh.
Okay, so one of the key things they said was you can literally deploy from AI Studio to Cloud Run. So now coming to your question, you can do that, but only for open weight models. So if I have an if I change the model, which is an open weight model is different to your normal Gemini models because these are the models that you can actually run on your local machine, and then you can train them up. They are a bit different to Gemini models, which are by Google. They're built upon open weight models, you can say. Now, this one allows you this. If you've selected this model, that's where you would see this icon of actually deploying to Cloud Run. However, there's a little problem. I can't really deploy it. It wants some special permission. So if you have an enterprise account, definitely check it out. But there is more. If you look at this side, you would have build options, build apps with Gemini. And here are some apps that you can literally, in one click, deploy to Cloud Run. So look at this one. Okay. Anyway, too much of flying. I don't have time for this. I can literally deploy it right away. So I can select my project and deploy app. And it will deploy and give me a URL. Oh, it did. Yay. So if I just open this here, there you have it. Oh, this is running. Sorry. This is running straight away from Cloud Run. You have actually deployed in one click to Cloud Run. You could have edited the app furthermore in here and then, updated it as well. But it's not the focus for tonight. Sorry. I just click on this little rocket, the spaceship, whatever you want to call it. Yes, that little icon. And oh, it only, so are you in the build apps? Yeah, you have to be in the build app thing. Oh, here, this icon. I'm hovering over it, build. And then search for any of the apps, or you can create your own app and then you can directly deploy. I haven't tried creating my own app. I just deployed this one and this was fun. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. I don't know if you have time for this, but if you have not used this feature, this is super cool. So if you have not used Stream, you must try Stream. Yes. No. So with Cloud Run, you don't really need a Docker file because this will be deployed on Cloud Run. So you don't really need a Docker file. It actually takes your code. I have seen what it does basically with these apps is it actually deploys the artifacts on a storage bucket. And from there, it basically creates like a build. So you use build pack, and it basically creates an image out of your code. It understands how to do it. And then it deploys on Cloud Build, which is pulled in by your Cloud Run to run it as an image on the container. Yes, and even today, we are going to deploy our application on Cloud Run. So we won't be doing any Docker file, you'll see. But OK, if you have not looked at this one, this is like a very cool feature. It was shared at one of our GDG meetups by other expert, but it was very cool talking to Gemini Live. So I can literally turn on the webcam, allow this time. I don't know if I can share my screen. So hard. Never mind. Hang on. I'll disconnect this one. Instead, start a new stream. And instead, I'll share my screen. And I will share the same screen. Hey, Gemini, what do you see? OK, enough. But you can literally share your screen, ask it questions real time of what you are actually working on. It's pretty good at it. So if you're working on something and you're getting a bug and you have like a lot of things going on, you literally can ask it by sharing your screen. Or, just point your camera to something and ask about it, and it would still be able to tell you. It's the live APIs. They are a bit different to your other APIs. But that's not the point. This was just a overview of the Gemini, Gen AI Studio, which definitely check it out when you go home. You will find very cool stuff to do. Anyway, let's go back to the code lab. And now that I've given you a brief of the AI Studio, let's get into doing our prompt and stuff. So I mentioned about using system instructions. So if you are on the code lab, we are on the step 2 and step 3 of part 2, I would say. So we are going to copy this text in bold, which is your system instructions. So I'm going to go here. Oh, hang on. Let me change the model back to Gemini. So we are back to 2.5 flash preview. And let me turn on grounding with Google search. And here on system instructions is where I'm going to provide the system instructions. The next thing is I'm going to ask it latest tech news in past 24 hours. Now, if you look at the instructions, it says you are an expert news reporter who curates content and provides a brief to-the-point response, but in Australian slang. So here's what you're going to get. And it says cricky and all those really cool things. So that's what you will be doing. So now you basically can, what you can do is you can actually get the whole code. And we could actually use this code directly, but remember, we are going to create an API that we are going to use as a backend for our integration to it. So that's why it's actually going, we have still be importing this Google Gen.AI from Gen.AI package. We would still be initializing it with the API key. We would still be using system instructions. We'll be still defining all the things and in a similar way, but just things here and there. So if you are new and if you're still learning, you can literally copy this code and run it in your local. Okay, going on to the next step. So that's what you have got. We can just go to the next step. So the next step is we are going to create a basic Express API, nothing too complicated. So you just click on Cloud Console link, this hyperlink, and it should take you to your Cloud Console. And let me zoom in. Once you are on the console, I want you to click this Activate Cloud Shell button. And what this is going to do is it's going to activate the Cloud Shell. So it's going to ask you to authorize. And it should open like a terminal like this. Everyone with me? Mine is very zoomed in, so it might look a bit different. Actually, I can zoom out because I changed directly the terminal. Can everybody have, is everybody on this step? Can everybody authorize it and can get it working? Awesome, perfect. Now that we are here, so basically it allows you to run everything on your Cloud Shell. And you can literally get it actually allows you to edit your code in a Visual Studio Code kind of editor. Like it spins up the whole IDE, and that's where you can actually store all your code repos and everything. So let's actually go back to the code lab. And the next step is we are going to just copy these commands and paste it in the terminal. So what we are going to do there is we just paste them. What we are doing, we are creating a new directory called News Curator. We go into that directory. We are creating a npm, like we are just initializing a node project and creating an index.js. And then the next step is I want you to click on the open editor. Oh, I will have to zoom in. And in the editor, you might be able to find News Curator there and open index.js. Everyone with me? Okay, cool. The next thing, we are just creating a very basic Express API which just says hello world to us. So I'm just going to copy this and go back in the index.js, paste this. So we are just importing express.env, just basic initialization, giving the port, starting the server, and doing a GET request on the root, which says hello world. Like really, really basic. Nothing too complicated there. Everyone with me? Okay, perfect. Now I have a request. Next, you will be creating a .env file. But my request is, once you've created and added your port number, don't actually close that .env file, because in this setting, it actually gets lost. You can change the settings and then get it again. I mean, it gets hidden, but it takes a lot of time. I don't want to waste time. So let's go to the .env file, and going back, we're going to copy the port number. We are just creating the basic, yeah. the API key would come in the next step. Yes. Okay. The next thing, we are going to update some of the scripts. So we'll just copy this, go back to the package.json. In here, update some of the scripts. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just adding a start and dev, test was already there, and also adding a type. You can remove the common JS, and we'll be going with type module so that I can use those import statements. Nothing, just plain normal JavaScript, nothing too complicated there. So the start would just have this, and there is nodemon so that I can actually hot reload the app. Nothing too complicated there. Everyone with me? Yes, sorry, yes. Where are you? 5 minutes before, we can wait 5 minutes. I think we have time. Oh, if you're here on the code lab, so did you already update index.js? Oh, sure. So, okay. Here, it should give you, when you open the terminal, it should have open editor button. Everyone with me? Anybody has any issues? Raise your hand. On track? Okay, hang on. So if you're confused at any point, well, I do not have it this step, but if in the future steps, if you miss out anything, in the first overview section, I have got the latest code for this lab that uses a GenAI SDK. And you've got the whole repo, and it has got everything in there. So you can just feel free to copy it. If you like lose any steps, if you miss any steps, then just do that. What happened? Index. Oh, something is wrong. What happened to my GitHub? I promise it works. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why. It just doesn't work. Sorry. Yeah, other things are working. Something is wrong. Maybe the internet? I don't know. But you'd find it in the index.js. It works. I promise it works. No. Yeah, it should be. It might be a Wi-Fi issue. It's internet issues. Yeah. Wow. That is beautiful index.js. Yes. Anyway, it should work when you're home. We'll try if it gets working otherwise. we'll just continue. Anyway, going back, if you are with me, I want you to open your terminal again. If you have updated all the scripts, we are going to install all the packages. So going back, open terminal. We are here. I need to reset this. We are here. Okay. And I'll just copy paste npm install express.m node. Nothing too complicated. We are just going bare basics right now. And npm run dev. So if you've got it running, and if you want to see how it looks like, there is a little icon of web preview. Can you see that icon that I'm hovering over? Web preview. So just go to web preview, preview on port 8080, and you should be able to get hello world. Everyone with me? Yes, perfect. Cool. So we have created like a very bare basics, nothing too complicated, a basic Express API that is working. The next step is to add all the Gemini magic. Now, what I want you to do is go to your AI studio, go back and click on the dashboard. That is where it will ask you to create a new API key. Now, I am going to stop sharing my screen so that you do not see my API key. And what I want you to do is, I want you to go to your .env file, and there you will add your API key. Okay? Can we do that? So let's do this. I'll do that as well. Go to dashboard, and that is where you can actually create a new API key. Yeah, just copy the API key. Yeah, just need the copy the API key. Okay, I've done the step, so I'll be resuming my sharing of screen. Yeah, because I was copying the API key. Okay. We're back. Has everybody done this step? The next thing, we just import. So this is your GenAI SDK. So if you have not actually had a look, maybe go through it, read the documentation, and you will find a lot of things that you can do with this SDK. Oh, zoom in.
No. Battery. The system's battery. Computers.
Yeah, I think it's enough.
No, it shows no battery there.
Oh, it's maybe hints. Yeah, your battery's low. Yeah, you might need a charger. Yeah. Anyway, oh, okay, yeah, we do need battery. Okay, but I'll just quickly give you a brief of the GenAI SDK and what's the difference and what's the trajectory been like. So when Google announced with the Gemini API, Vertex AI, does anybody know the difference between using Gemini API and Vertex AI? So Gemini API is for developers, individual developers like us, just for fun, just do whatever. So just use the Gemini API for that. But Vertex AI is more for enterprisey stuff. So if you use GCP at work, you might be interested to just look at the Vertex AI as it. So everything that you can do with Gemini API, you can do with Vertex AI. But everything that you can do with Vertex is not possible with Gemini. So there is a couple of differences there. Now, when Google announced all these things, very cool stuff, they came up with two different packages. One was generative AI package that used the Gemini API, And the other one was Vertex AI SDK. That was for specifically Vertex AI things. So for Vertex AI, you basically need your project, the GCP project details, the region where you want to run it, and also you need to turn on the APIs, as in allow the APIs to work. So you need all those things, and you need a proper billing account because it obviously charges you more. So Vertex AI was for that. But then Google decided to deprecate the generative AI package. Instead, they introduced a Gen AI package. Now, what Gen AI package allows you to do is you can actually use your Gemini API key and run your workload, or initialize Vertex AI thing as well using the same package. You don't have to use a separate Vertex AI package if you are, just doing basic stuff. So that is the core difference between the two packages, and what was the deprecation and all those things. So definitely check this one out. You don't want the deprecated stuff to work on, but if anyone here was an early adopter, it might be actually helpful to actually look at how the generative AI package works. But anyway, now that we are,
What do they stand for Gemini and Vertex?
there are a bit of differences in the syntax some places. Yes, yeah. So if you have to say add a tool in Vertex and add a tool in in the generative AI package separately, it was a lot different. And then they introduced the Gen AI package. The way you call this functions now, it is quite different to how it worked earlier. The initialization was very different. Now it has become a lot more easier, I would say. So going back,
Is there any difference for the enterprise one and the?
I think there's definitely a lot of difference because you can literally choose from your model gardens and do a lot. If you look at, so this is where you go. Actually,
So even if I'm working in enterprise systems and I'm just developing my thing, so
let me show you.
Mhm.
So look at the level of things that you have here, and what you saw, what you can do here versus what you can do with your just API key. So I think there's where a lot of difference comes into picture. Yeah. Anyway.
So in enterprise also, in the dev environment, I need to have like enterprise features in my dev environment inside an enterprise. Suppose I want to do something, I want to do some work. I deploy it first to dev, then a test environment, then a regression, something like
Yeah.
in software lifecycle.
Yeah.
So do I need fully featured enterprise features in my dev environment as well?
Not really. You can use your Gemini API just for your POCs, but you can use the Vertex AI SDK if you want to use Vertex AI. I mean, you can still use it in your dev as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, coming back here, we'll just import this. If you are with me, please let me know. Would be good to know if you are with me. So we're just importing the Google Gen AI from Gen AI package, and then going back to the code lab, we're going to just have initialize our Gemini client, you can say Gen AI client. So just go here, and after you've got your port, just add these two there. Next step, I am going to straight away create a new endpoint. Now, going back here, after your root endpoint, I'm creating a news endpoint. So I'm so sorry, I did not realize it was not zoomed in, but now it is zoomed in. Can everybody see my screen at the back? So I've just followed whatever is there in the code lab. I've just followed the steps, and I have created a new endpoint. Now I want you to look at it carefully. So obviously it's a news endpoint. Then I've got the prompt here. And what I'm trying to do in this stage is basically I am initializing a chat with your Gemini API, basically your Gen AI thing. You're just starting a chat, you provide the model, and then under configurations is where you provide all the tools. So remember all the tools we saw here? These tools you basically define under here. So such as Google search. And then further in Google search, there are things that you can define such as dynamic threshold and other settings. Those settings will define how in depth do you want to go, for Google search, how much depth you want to cover. There are settings like that that you can further define. For tonight, we'll just keep it simple and won't give it anything there. Furthermore, we provide the system instruction. Remember, we've got that news reporter thingy and Australian slang. That's our system instruction. That's what we provide here. And then what we do is we just send the message, which is our prompt. And then we get the result. That's all we are doing. Yes.
For Google search tool, do we need to pass any Google search API key?
What do you mean by Google search API key? No, it has the tool built in.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Just a very basic question about the tools. So let's say instead of Google search, I get the data from the database and then want to get a distribution of the data from the histogram, right? Then
Okay.
the tools would be, this is how you plot the histogram. Why do you need the LLM in the first place? If I give it a tool which is a deterministic, right? Plot this distribution. Why do you need the
How about you do not give it the distribution? You just give it the data and ask it to do it for you.
Okay. In that scenario, do I need to go with the Google search or can I just go?
With your function calling.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would actually say have some data, okay?
Data, yeah.
It's in the database.
Yeah.
And there's also, I think there is a retrieval tool. I'm not sure if it's here. No, it's not here, but you can actually have retrieval tools. So there's something called as retrieval tool where you can directly provide like your data store and things, where your data is.
Here's the data, here's the tool, how you plot it. Why do we need this Gemini in the first place? Because we give it the data, we give it the tool, which is this is how you do the plot, and this is how it works. So why do we need the Gemini or others?
Streamline it. Yeah. Or maybe why do you have to, that's what my question is. Why do you tell it how to plot it? Just give it instructions in plain English. Yeah.
And this Google search, does it work with other models, like OpenAI models, or does it just okay with this Gemini?
I think it works with other models as well, but not the open weight models as far as I know. Yeah. Like, I don't think it works with your Gemma, that one that we saw. Yeah. Cool. No worries. All right. So if you are with me, we have copied this. Let's go back to terminal and install the package. Open terminal. Oh my God. Okay. And again, npm run dev. All right, so if I open the web preview it on 8080, I should be able to get hello world. Now I am going to remove this query parameter. Instead, I'm going to just add news. And it should basically give me some tech news summary. It takes some time. But if you're getting like a 429 or a resource limit or limit reached error, then you'll have to connect your Gemini API from the dashboard to a Google Cloud project, the project that you linked with your billing. So the one that you created, just link it. It's a one-click step. So from the free tier to a billing one. Everybody here with me? All got it done? Better? Oh, yeah. So here, when you click on web preview, and it will ask you to preview on port 8080, it will take you to a base URL with a query parameter. Remove that query parameter and just type in news. Does it work? or you get an error? API error. Okay, go to your, if you're getting API errors, 429 limit reached errors, go to your dashboard, that AI Studio dashboard. In the dashboard, next to your API key, there would be something called as link to cloud project or link to GCP or cloud project, something like that, and link to the project that you have just created. If you need help, raise your hand and I will show you. Anyone needs help? Anyone needs help? Everybody with me? They got the tech news summary? Like this? Beautiful text? Yeah, as Jaco mentioned, it's going to be different for every time. Yeah, but it's working, right? Everyone with me? If done this, yes. Okay, everyone got it? Shall we move to the next step? Let's try to deploy this. We have created it. Let's deploy this. Okay, so going back here, next step is to deploy your app. So now for you to deploy it, you will be deploying it on Cloud Run, as I mentioned. Sorry. As I mentioned, you'll be deploying it on Cloud Run, and you have not actually defined a Docker file. So it's going to use build pack to create a build. So it uses Cloud Build. Now it's going to use both Cloud Build and Cloud Run. And for you, if you're doing it for the first time, you need to enable the APIs. Basically tell your, it's just telling that, okay, I want to use these APIs or I want to use these features. So that's where you would be actually copying these commands into your terminal and running them. And if you get an authentication error, this is only if you get authentication error, that's when you do this step. Otherwise, once you have done these, you can simply run gcloud run deploy. So I have already done these steps. I can simply run in the terminal. I'll stop my app, and I am within the news curator folder. Make sure you are within that news curator directory. And from there, just gcloud run deploy. Now, if you are deploying it for the very first time, it is going to ask you a lot of questions, such as what is the source code location, which is this folder itself. So just press enter. What is the service name? I don't want to change it. I press enter. Next, it's going to give me a list of regions where I want to basically deploy it to. So I prefer, for all these AI workloads and any new stuff, I prefer to deploy it in US. A lot of stuff doesn't work regionally sometimes. So just, better safe than sorry. I'll just get number 34, which is US Central 1. So that is where I will deploy this. And it would start building and deploying. So if you look at it, it's basic. You have not created a Docker file. It's automatically doing it for you. Everyone on the same page? Can we get it deployed? Yes.
But let's say if I have some packages, let's say specific packages and applications run, is it gonna work?
Yeah, it would automatically work. Yeah, but you can definitely define it if you need it. But Cloud Run automatically does it. Okay, so it's going to take a while. Anyone has any authentication issues? All good, all good, all good. Minutes. finished? Do you want me to finish 10?
Yeah, we have about half an hour before we have to move out.
So just 10 minutes because we are on the second last of that. Not much left. Yes.
So running the command G cloud run deploy is similar like the one click.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You can even specify all these things, as arguments. I just wanted not to. Okay. Going back. Oh, yeah, it's deployed. So I've got a service URL here. So I'm going to command click this and open it in the new tab. It says hello world. I go back here and /news. And that's where I should be able to get the news summary. While it is loading, I'll go back to my cloud console on home and look for something called as cloud run. Now we are at the cloud run, and here's my news curator app. So here's where you can see all the logs. You can see the URL that actually gave it to me. So sorry about that. Again, this is better, I hope. So here's my app. You can see the URL. You can see all the logs. You can see triggers or source code, everything in here. That is where your app has been deployed. So has everybody got it working? The deployed app got the service URL? The service URL working? Oh, yay. I think we are almost there. So we have done the hard part. Now it's going to be really easy from now on. So now it's time that we send this news summary onto our emails. So let's actually go back to your console, maybe here. Let's go to the console and search for something called as application integrations and open application integration. Everybody here? Now, application integrations allow you to create like powerful workflows with almost no code. So it's no code, low code kind of a thing. So we are going to just create a new integration. And we can name it as TLDR. Just give it a description. I'm just going to copy stuff from the code lab. Oh, what am I doing here? And it's going to create the integration. And you would see the canvas. Now, your canvas would look like this. It has got things like triggers and tasks. Now, the key difference between triggers and tasks, as the name suggests, triggers is something that you can use to invoke your workflow or start your workflow. And then tasks are the steps that you want to run in your workflow. So our first trigger is going to be the API trigger. Why? This is better. I want to run this workflow when I actually say run it, basically call it. Okay, so that's why I will have an API trigger. The next thing is, now I have created a REST endpoint. So I am going to call my news API endpoint that I have created and deployed on Cloud Run. And obviously, never forget to connect them. Go back to your call REST endpoint. In here, do not change the authentication, just run it as a service account. And in the endpoint base URL is where you would specify the URL that was returned. So you got this URL returned. So I'm just going to copy it. I'm just going to copy the URL. And don't forget the end /news. So I'm just going to add it there. And the next task is I'm going to search for email. And that's where you have your send email option. And I'm going to connect it. And let me find our fake email. So I'm going to find out a temporary email address that I can use for the demo. Oh, going back here. And in the recipient, I'll put that. You can use your personal email address, obviously. In the subject, TLDR, plain text. In the body, you have to click on variable and then click back here. And something you will get here is all the variables that are available for you to use. So one of them is basically this response body, which is like a response coming from your REST endpoint, which is your new summary. That's what you give it. And that's it, I think. And we publish. Oh, sorry, we test and then we'll publish. So let me test this integration. It takes time to, okay, integration was successful. Look at the logs. And meanwhile, I'll also look at my inbox. And I have got the email. There you go. I've got the summary. Everybody got it working? Yeah, so yeah, you will get it always in your inbox. Don't forget to publish it. Now you're going to ask me, well, Lovee, I had to click on it and then it works. Well, guess what? It's homework for you guys. Change the API trigger to schedule trigger and schedule the job for every day or whatever the frequency you want it to. Now, I've created that integration and it sends me emails every day. Let me go to the integrations. And here, I've got the schedule trigger. Enable editing, skip. So here the schedule trigger, and it runs every day at this. But this time is in UTC, the time in US. So you have to do that calculation, or just, if you are an expert, just do a cron, or just Gemini it when you want to send it. So you can run it every day, every month, whatever the frequency you like, and it would send you all the emails. So if anybody's stuck, everybody did it, everybody getting the emails. Okay, cool. You're all getting spammed, good. All right, coming back. These were the resources I used. Not sure if you want to click a picture, but if you want to connect, I'll just share the link tree. Here you go. Let's connect. And thank you. I'll stop sharing.
Awesome presentation.
Oh.
All right. Thank you, Lovee. That was a great walkthrough, great workshop. Has everyone got their tech news app up and running? You'll be publishing it next day, right? So have to modify that. All right. So with that, we are pretty much at the end of the session. So now what we are going to do, we'll run a quiz. So we'll start the quiz. Anyone who wants to join us, I think I did mention quite a lot of benefits and things that you get as part of the community member. So if you want to join us, we are always looking for good speakers from community. Also volunteers if you want to help us out in running more meetups, and also as sponsors. So feel free to join the community. Here are the QR codes that you can scan and join. You can join us on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, or Telegram, and newsletters. So feel free to follow us and join us. Now it's time for the quiz. So as I was saying, we have 3 Code Cloud 6-month access as a giveaway, 3 $500 at my cloud credits. And then 3 $99 at my cloud exam vouchers. I have a different bottle too. That's the picture from the Sydney one. We have a bottle here, Gemini bottle, and 3 books, Gen.AI for data architects. All right, so I'll pass it over to my friend Felix here, who is going to run the quiz for us. I'll stop sharing.
First,
I've got the questions. Hopefully, you've got the answers.
We have enough people on. Yeah.
You ready?
Is anyone ready?
The technical issues?
Yeah.
No. Let's start. Okay. Alrighty, then we get started. Put on the leaderboard. Alrighty. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So, first question, what is the primary purpose of the Google Cloud ADK? A, to manage virtual machine instance in Google Cloud, to build and orchestrate AI agents and multi-agent systems. C, to provide a database service for cloud-native applications. D, to design user interfaces for web applications. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. All right, majority got it right. And a few people not. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Number 2. Okay, what level of abstraction is Google's ADK? Level 4, no-code platforms. Level 3, agent framework. Level 2, low-level orchestration framework. Level 1, low-level LLM framework. Level 0, do-it-yourself. Whoop. This time even less people got it right. Quite distributed. All right, let's move on to the next question. What are the 3 types of agents ADK offers? LLM-based, workflow-based, custom, loop-based, sequence category, parallel, other. Whoop. Whoa, this time. All right. That was a freebie. Okay, question number 4 are coming up. And which deployment option is best for max control? GKE, Vertex AI Agent Engine, Cloud Run. Dun, dun. Ooh. Looks like that was a tricky one. Now, almost halfway through, question number 5. Google recently donated A2A protocol to Linux Foundation, true or false? Ooh, okay, I didn't expect that. Now, questions related to the second talk. What SDK are we using to build the TLDR app? Agent Development Kit, Generative AI SDK, Jain AI SDK, Vertex AI SDK. Ooh. Most of them got it right. So we're looking at the leaderboard, whoever participant X is, and Chris. And when we got quite a few people actually leading. No real clear winner yet. So what is grounding in the context of LMMs? Giving the model GPS coordinates, providing real-time or trusted external information to improve responses, restarting the model when it fails, asking the model to brew coffee. You never know. Ooh, yep. What service did we use to deploy our TLDR app? Cloud storage, Cloud Run, Cloud Functions, Kubernetes. Ooh, everyone. Good. Almost. One. Ah, okay. Okay, so 2 more questions. See if we get a clear winner. So far, doesn't look like it. In our app, how are we able to get response in Australian slang? By translating the content, by using our context, by adding more text, by using system instructions. Still thinking? Ooh, also not clear. So, last question. What Google Cloud service did we use to send emails in the demo? BigQuery, application integration, Firebase, or Cloud Run?
Yeah. Available for at least 3 seconds.
Ooh, that was the last question.
Are you prepared? You're at the top.
Ooh.
But there's the last question.
Yo, that's it. Alrighty.
Thank you, everyone. A quick round of applause for all the winners and whoever took the prize. No, it's flashing. Oh. All right, so time for some what go away. So Chris, other on the stage, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you want? Our book. Okay, which one? We have the data engineering and the Jain AI. We got data engineering with cloud platform and generative AI for.
Yeah, I get the platform. Machine learning.
I knew it. That's why I kept it at the one. Actually, we should get one for the.
Yeah, get one. I move the banner here.
All right.
Okay. That looks much better.
I don't close it. Awesome.
Awesome, congratulations. Thank you very much. For everyone else. Yeah, if you want a free copy of the book, so there is a free copy that's available as a PDF version. So Chris, if you can probably just let anyone who is interested in getting a free copy, scan the QR code. So there should be a QR code that people can scan. I should have actually put it on the slide.
That one actually asked very important. I'm not really.
You are not.
Your proof of the take.
Ah,
So that one actually only for you. Yeah. My understanding is.
Only if you buy.
Okay. It must be your proof of.
Yeah. So anyone who is actually interested in buying another book, so as a attendee of the event tonight, you get 30. I can give you a 30% discount voucher if you are willing to buy the book. So if you're interested, reach out to me. Packet has provided me with a 30% discount voucher that I can. All right. Second up, who we have? Gary. What would you like? So we got 2 books, a bottle with a bag. Yeah, for sure.
let's try.
This one, water. Okay. There you go. Thank you. Congratulations. Next step, Jain.
Hi, I'm online.
Is it someone online?
Yes,
Jain.
The virtual winner.
I'm online. Yeah.
You.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
James joined online. Okay. Yeah, we can't.
Right.
What do you like with James? James.
So, is there
We'll
anything?
come back to you when we have your preference. All right. Next up, AP. Again, someone. Right. Okay, there it is. Do you want a book? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, we also have 3 code cloud access ones. Maybe I'll. Okay, then we'll skip. All right. If you don't mind passing on your details to Felix. Next up, Amrit. Do you like that? I'll get the code cloud access or the Hack My Cloud? Code cloud access. Okay. So do you mind passing on the details? Next up, we have Ben. Ben. All right, congratulations. Right. I'll give you the book and then we'll get to photo. Congratulations. Next up, participant X. Unfortunately, you were the number 1 actual question number 9 and then. Congratulations. Thank you. One is the cloud. The code cloud access. Do we have one?
Yeah, 2 so far.
Okay. So we have 1 more left. Yeah. You wanna get a photo? Congratulations. Next up, we have Sai.
Congratulations.
What is that?
So Code Cloud is gone. We have 3 Akamai Cloud vouchers. Two? Oh yeah, one book left.
And what do we do with the
You play around with the Akamai Cloud, or you can do the Akamai Cloud certification. So there is a certification voucher or the cloud credit. Exam voucher or the. Okay. Cool.
That's pretty good. I'm getting less one. Yeah, seriously, we can use like a.
Do you mind?
Yeah. How is it? Skin.
Of course.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we have Rana Ji.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Last up, Fran. Is it someone online? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't expect to be.
Nice. Yes. I was like, oh, wait, 10.
So the books are gone, the bottle is gone. Oh, good. Code Cloud access is gone. So we have Akamai Cloud either credits or exam voucher.
I'll go for the credits.
Yeah, sure. Well, can you just pass on your details to him, please? With that, it's time to conclude. Thank you, everyone, for coming over. Hope the time that you invested here, the presentation justified the time that you invested, right? We still got some stickers available if someone wants to grab some. There's one Gemini pen. Feel free to grab. You don't need to be a winner. Everyone is a winner. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming over. Yeah. Before we go, let's quickly have a group photo, please. Everyone. If I can
We can use on 27th of
Yeah. Do you want us to that's it?
Yeah.
Can I ask everyone to come over here for a quick group photo, please? First? Yeah, the
Yes.
Yeah.
I still have to look up. I'm sure we'll find it. You're covering the sign.
Ready? Yeah. I'm not ready. I'm going out of the store. Just give me 1 second.
We can ask. It's a very big frame. Are you sure you can take a selfie?
You need that burger to the cloud.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, come on, it's not.
Learn the picture.
Thank you.
So you're on the group.
I just stand up there.
Feel free to connect and talk to we just need to be out of this call now so that they can wrap it up. Yes.